welcome to Breaking Through with EP. It is indeed a pleasure to be back with you on today. Today we have some information that you're going to be thrilled to behold on. I have a very special guest that's going to teach you some tips that's going to make a difference in your life. But before I begin, I always like to start with a little poem of mine from my book called Words in Action. This poem is called Dreams, and this is what my guest today is going to help you fulfill some of your dreams. Dreams are the substance of hopes, desires, and wishes. You may dream a dream for a week, a month, or even a year. But no matter what, in order for that dream to materialize, you must wake up spiritually, naturally, even through the tears. Now you think on that as we talk today about things that going to enrich your life. Now, I brought a little special thing here that I want to share with you, and I hope I can do this properly. But when you were born, we kind of are born with a clean slate, right? Then as we go to school, we learn a little bit better. And then as we go to college and we interact with people like my guest on today, we become a lot more colorful. Life becomes more enriched. And today, my special guest, I am thrilled to have her. A wonderful lady, and she's very smart and intelligent. Farida Chookolingo. Maybe one day I'll get that right. Well, welcome, and thank you for coming here today.
It's my pleasure.
It's my pleasure. And I said, look, we're going to keep it, don't get stiff on me, we're going to have fun. Now, I'm going to call her Farida. She's a senior associate with World Financial Group. And today, we're going to talk about, our topic is finance and investment. Now, you're going to share some information. I had an opportunity to chat with her, and she went on and on. I was like, oh, no, save it for tomorrow. Now, I see from my talking with you, I understand that you deal with insurance protection, mutual funds, lifestyle changes, retirement strategies, securities products, annuities, CDs, and what I like most that I read on your site, helping you move from dreaming to doing. Helping you move from dreaming to doing. That means you got to act. All right, so now, and also share with us some of the business opportunities that you can share with the audience to enlighten them as to what they do. So why don't we start out with just investment that can be done, just general investments.
Well, most people are not aware of what they can do to help themselves. So what I like to tell my clients, first of all, EP, is know what you want.
Okay.
People have hopes and they have dreams and they have ability to do that if they know what they want. Mm-hmm. So what is your hope? What is your dream? What is your reality? So we want to move you from dreaming to reality.
I like that.
So some of the things you can do, first of all, is number one, you have to take a look at your budget.
Okay.
How are you spending your money?
Take a look at your budget. Make a note of that. Go on.
Then are you prepared for an emergency? Mm-hmm. You must prepare for an emergency.
Now, explain emergency, because sometimes people think of emergency like fires and things like that, but just be very basic.
Emergency, well, your car could break down. Mm-hmm. Are you prepared? Do you have enough funds put aside that you could just pay to have the car fixed? Mm-hmm. What about if your child gets sick or you get sick and you can't work?
Or in insurance, if something happens in the family and you need, okay.
What about if you lose your job?
Okay.
If you lose your job, are you prepared? Do you have at least 3 to 6 months of income put aside?
Oh, so you should have at least 3 to 6 months
rule
of
of
income
thumb,
put aside?
you must put aside at least 3 to 6 months of your income put aside.
Okay.
So that's one way you can do that. Mm-hmm. Other thing is, moving forward with that, have you decided about your kids? Do you have kids? Mm-hmm. Do they want to go to college? Are you prepared for that? Do you know how you're going to send them to college?
Okay, now let's suppose, given those things that you just shared, if that was me, should I start putting my money in a savings account, or should I put it in a CD, or should I put it in annuities? What should I do? Well, let's suppose if I got like an extra $100 a month. I mean, just give me a general idea. What should I start doing?
It depends. Is this for a short term, a long term? midterm. So when we take a look at monies, we take a look at money and we put it in 3 different buckets. You have to have money for a short-term need,
okay.
You have to have money for a midterm need, and for long-term need.
So the short-term would be like your regular budget?
Your regular budget, your
okay,
emergency.
Okay.
And that definitely you'll put in the bank, have it liquid.
Okay.
Liquid.
Okay.
That will be liquid.
Okay.
So you'll find a bank that you can make at least 3 to 6 months savings, and you keep that there liquid. Mm-hmm. Midterm, there are strategies that we put in place for midterm and long term. And when we do that, we try to put it in such a way that it's easily accessible to you midterm. And definitely long term is for your retirement. So now you have money that is for now, immediate emergencies, because without that, you get right into debt. You will agree that right now in America, debt is number 1 issue on everyone's mind. The debt is staggering.
True.
And when you are a young child, like you just said, when you're born with a clean slate. But as you grow up, you get more and you get more and you get more. It's the same thing with debt. I don't know if you have heard, but Martin Luther King had said, he said, most people die at 25. We just don't bury them until they are really dead.
That is so interesting. Repeat that again.
He said, most people die at 25.
And this is not a physical death.
It's a financial death.
Exactly.
Because at age 25, what do you have? You're coming out of college, you're probably married or going through a divorce, have a couple of kids. You give up your dream. You dream of what you want it to be. You stop dreaming. Now you're just working and working and working and can't make ends meet.
Paycheck to paycheck.
Paycheck to paycheck. So we put in place strategies that will help you to budget, see where my money is going. What are my goals? What are my dreams? When do I want to accomplish this? Is my goal to buy a house? When do I want to buy a house? So you have to have a goal,
okay.
and you have to have a time frame. If that is the case, then we know exactly when you want to do this. So we'll put you in a product that would allow you to have easy access to that money when you need it. Obviously, in retirement, it's further down the line.
Right.
So as you know, most people want to retire in their 60s, and they're pushing that forward. So if you start now, imagine what you can accomplish. In life, people don't plan to fail. When you were born and you were telling your mom, I want to be this.
They don't plan to fail, but they fail to plan.
They fail to plan, and that's where we come in. And not only that, what I like so much about my company is that not only do we give you an opportunity to put your own financial house in order, but we look at you not at your current potential, but what you have potential to become.
Okay, now I just want to segue a little bit away from what you're saying. Now, for our viewers who don't know what a mutual fund is, some people really don't. I mean, you and I do, but you'd be surprised. I want you to explain to us the difference between a mutual fund and an annuity.
Okay. A mutual fund is a fund. A fund is a company, an investment company. Each mutual fund is a separate investment company. What that company does is that they get pieces of stock from different companies. It's called bits and pieces of stock from different companies, and they form a fund.
Okay.
And that fund trades on the stock exchange.
Okay.
By law, they cannot have more than 5% of any one company in a mutual fund. So let's look at a mutual fund as we would look at the difference between a stock and a mutual fund. Now, let's see if you were in an elevator, right? And this is you standing in an elevator. And you have one stock holding you up. Okay. One stock. And so that's something you like a lot. I'm not going to name names, but you like that stock. So you bought that stock, and that stock is holding your financial future in its hand.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And that stock falls. What happens to you?
You fall, everything.
You fall.
Lose, everything's gone.
Okay. That's a good strategy if you have a lot of money and you're willing to lose that money. But what about if you're now starting out and you have the ability to be in that elevator, but have several cables holding you up, which means several companies in that one package holding you up, and one company go out, one cable breaks, what happens?
You're still standing.
You're still standing.
Exactly.
So that's a mutual fund.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So diversify.
Diversify. So in a mutual fund, you have the ability to get an investment into different companies combined into one package, and that is your mutual fund.
Okay. It's like a security blanket. It's like when people always say don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Correct.
That's kind of like what you're saying, and a little bit more security there. Because even if you're wealthy, you don't want to just have one stock, and when that goes down, you've lost everything.
That is correct.
It's like starting over. Now, explain what an annuity is.
An annuity is a product that allows you, if you choose, to have income for life. A stream of income for life, or a stream of income for a certain period of time. Now, the difference between an annuity and a life insurance product is a life insurance product is used for after you're gone, to make your family whole, to protect your family and have them go through life for the rest of their lives while you're gone. So with an annuity is when you're alive, who's going to take care of you when you retire? You need to have income for the rest of your life. So annuity is designed for while you're alive, and a life insurance product is designed for when you're gone. So you have to have both. You have to have life insurance because it's very valuable.
Now, do you buy the annuities through insurance companies?
Yes, it is actually an insurance product. It has a living benefit and a death benefit. Living benefit, while you're alive, you use it up, and if you don't use it up, it goes to your beneficiaries. So it does give you a stream of income for life. And as you are aware, currently in the United States, if I tell you what percentage of society save, you will be surprised.
Okay, tell me. Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Save. You mean putting money in the bank?
2%.
Are you serious?
2% of society save their money. 2% of society save their money. And that is because the norm of the business is that most people feel that you have to have a huge amount of discretionary income to put a plan in place. But what my company does is we work a lot with middle America, with middle income families, and show them with a little planning, you don't have to have a huge amount of discretionary income. With a little bit of discretionary income, you could start $100 a month.
But
and start putting your plans together.
How do we get people to realize the importance of saving?
It's a difficult thing because it's discipline. It's discipline. What you can do is on a weekly basis, you go about your daily lives. You have kids or you don't have kids, or you have a family, but you're constantly spending. You're not paying attention to how you're spending your money. Are you going to Starbucks every day? Are you a 2-pack a day person? Where is that money going? So if you look on a weekly basis of how much you have spent, what did you get for it? And then you look at that on a monthly basis. And if I was to show you a projection, if you take that money that you have wasted and you invest that money and see how compound interests work, and you will see what that will get you.
So with lifestyle changes,
yes,
we can take all that excess money that we think we have to have, like the Starbucks coffee or whatever.
And the designer shoes and handbags. I mean, you don't really need.
You can only wear
one
pair of shoes at a time.
Yes, definitely. My pastor usually say, if you have 2 pairs of shoes, you're wealthy.
Well, you know what? I mean, I use that as a rule of thumb when I'm shopping, because sometimes you get to a point in your life where you have a lot of things. So the things that you want are just wants. They're not needs. And you go into a store and you may see a pair of shoes or a dress and it's like, oh, I want that, I want that. And then you think about it, it's like, but do I need it?
Correct.
You know, I mean, in this society, we are so blessed here in America, and we just don't realize it until you go to another country and you really see how basic a lot of people are living. And then you realize, you know what, all these things I'm talking about I need, they're really wants.
They're really wants.
So we have to get our priorities in order. And I'm glad you're sharing this basic information with our viewers, because a lot of times I am shocked that only 2% of the population saved.
And that is because mainly it's because they're not aware, you know. And if you take an educational approach of how money works and how you can put a little plan in place, like the Chinese saying is, you can fill a bucket 1 drop at a time.
Okay.
Correct?
Okay.
So if a drip and you drip and you drip and you drip into your retirement plan every month, eventually you have something. You have something that when your kids want to go to college or when you want to travel and see the grandbabies, you have it. You have something when you want to buy your first home, you have it.
You know, I'm going to date myself. When I was a kid, they used to have things called Christmas clubs at the bank. And my dad would give us an allowance. And my mom would say, okay, you're going to take like so much of your allowance and put it in your Christmas club. And at the end of the year, you're going to have X amount of dollars.
Excellent.
So
Beautiful.
as a kid, you figure, okay, I mean, I adored my mom. So whatever she said was gold. It's like, okay. And I come from a family of 7 siblings. And we all did it. And at the end of the year, right before Christmas, we would get this Christmas club and we get this lump sum of money. It's like, whoa. So every year, we all just grew up saving. So when you said 2% of the population saved, that's why I was so shocked, because I grew up, that was just like breathing to me. And even as an adult, I never strayed away from that. You know what I mean? I'm always seeking out ways. So I want our viewers to keep in mind, you got to start saving. All right? Prioritizing. You don't need that Starbucks coffee. You don't need that extra dress just for one event. You know,
Correct.
You really need to analyze and write down your expenditures, and you'd be surprised. It's almost like when I want to lose weight, and I think, yeah, I'm not losing weight. But when I start writing down what I'm eating, then I realize
Excellent.
That's why I'm not losing weight. You
Excellent
know?
analogy.
So also, I want you to share with our viewers a little bit about opportunities, business opportunities, because a lot of times we always think that we got to work for somebody else. True, some of us have to, but sometimes you can start your own or be your own boss. So
Correct. What my company does, it gives you an opportunity midway in life, wherever you are, to start a new company. You are in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. We have a back office that backs you up with very little overhead. You can get off the ground, get going, learn some self-financial information. Even if you never even have a business, you learn it for yourself and for your family. As long as we don't look at you as you currently are, you know, who you are now is who you want to become. We look at your potential, your ability to be coachable, your ability to learn, your ability to want to go out there and educate other people. You have to have the passion in you to be able to help people. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for passionate people who want to go out there and make a difference in someone's life, to educate them and to take them from dreaming to doing.
I love that, from dreaming to doing. And you also said one word that's very powerful, and I don't know if you're aware of that, but it's passion. No matter what you do, you should always have a passion. Because on those days when you don't feel like you want to get up and do it, passion will get you up. Because when you have a passion for something, you're driven.
Yes.
Even though when you're tired, you're still driven because you just love it. You know, and the rewards are
tremendous.
Exactly.
It's tremendous. Just to know what you've been able to do for a family is tremendous. Just to know that you can sit down with someone in a short space of time, you can give them a plan to get them out of debt. You could show them how to plan their emergency fund. You could show them how to get proper protection. You could show them how to send their kids off to college and plan their retirement.
So what if I came to you and I said, Farida, listen, I have an extra $200 a month from my salary, and I just want to make this money multiply. And let's do a little bit of role playing for a minute or two.
Definitely.
You know, so Farida, I got this extra $200 coming in a month. What can I do with this? I want to make it multiply.
Okay, AP, besides this $200, do you have any other extra savings in case of an emergency?
Well, I have a little bit of a savings account. It gets like 2% interest rate. So I got about maybe $7,000 to $8,000 in the bank.
Excellent. So you do have some money put aside. And what do you want to accomplish at what age?
Well, I'm not really sure. I guess maybe when I get a little bit older, I want to be kind of financially secure so I don't have to worry about, you know, working all my life. I want to be able to retire and be a little comfortable and, you know, have a nice place to stay and just kind of maintain the kind of lifestyle that I have now.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Besides this $200, with your company, do you have any type of a retirement plan in place with the company?
I haven't really thought about that. I thought it was just too soon to think about a retirement plan, but...
Well, once you work for a company, most companies have something in place for you. So we have to take into consideration, what do you currently have?
But what if my company doesn't have a retirement plan?
Then I have a lot of work cut out for me to do. Because now I have to take your $200 and see when you want to retire. Do you have at least 10 years to retire? If you have at least 10 years to retire, we can work with that. We can find a product that is suitable for you. We can find a product where we can make your $200 and protect that principal amount that you put in. And
So,
in 10 years, you will be able to touch that money without have surrender fees on that. And that's what I'm looking for. I always have to gauge where you are now, how much you have, and when you want to touch it.
the amount of time before you retire is very important. Let's
It's
suppose if I have
extremely-
20 years before I retire. That's better than having 10 because then it gives me a longer period of time
Yes.
to see my money invested and work for me.
Yes, that is correct.
So it's better to start thinking this way in your 20s,
20s.
if not sooner.
It's fantastic. But what do most 20-years think about?
Party and having a good time.
Yes, partying and having a good time. So the sooner we can educate our young people, the sooner we can get them to a place of retirement and accomplishing their goals and dreams. And that's a very, very good point. And you cannot time the market, but it's time in the market and using the rule of 72 for compound interest that gets you where you want to be.
You said something. It's your time in the market.
You can't time the market, but it's your time in the market.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's very profound.
Thank you.
You know, it's almost like you got to be in it to win it, but in your case, you got to be in it to win it and stay in there for a period of time.
Correct.
That's interesting. So parents out there, you know, it's never too soon to start teaching your children to save and how to invest their money, and even if like a little Christmas club or a little CD, so they can see that they can get interest rate and just get it's a mindset.
It's a mindset, yeah. There are banks out there, you know, that will give you better interest rates than some. And most of the emergency funds that we use, we make sure they're FDIC, and we make sure that it's only for the emergency fund. Only the emergency fund goes into the bank. And then within, if they have like 3 to 7 years for a midterm goal, then we will use mutual funds. And then if they have a long-term goal, 7 years and up, then we will use more extended products, you know, to get them into where they want to be.
Can you give us an example of, let's say, your worst case scenario where you had a situation and you tried to help this person, it didn't quite work out, and the best situation where someone came and said, I wanted to invest this money, and over a period of time they saw the difference, they were so elated?
Well, my best scenario, I'm going to go first. I was recently speaking with a friend of mine.
Just make them short. We'll kind of understand.
It was about 2.5 years ago I was speaking with her.
Okay.
And just speaking with her and speaking with her, it took me 2 years to sit down with her.
Okay.
And when I sat down with her and I showed her what the company can do, she was so elated that she turned over her whole portfolio to me. And I showed her in a short space of time how she can recoup and capture what she has lost and also tie down what she has accomplished. And the worst case scenario was with a young mom when she had 3 kids and she was divorced and in a lot of debt, and try to get her out of debt and try to get into a program where she can at least save enough money to get her kids off to college. And then she didn't qualify for the program. And I tried really hard working with her. But sometimes we have to take baby steps. We have to first get you out of debt and teach you how to start earning additional income. If at the end of the month you have more month than money, definitely you have to see where that money is going.
Scary.
And you have to start making additional income.
Now, I just want to kind of go over some of the financial tips real slowly so that our viewers will be able to remember. Tip number 1, you're going to spend wisely. Now, with your weekly budget, they should write down all of the expenditures, right?
Correct.
That way they can kind of see where their money is going.
Excellent.
Number 2, have a goal and a time frame. Very important. Goal and time frame. Otherwise, the goal becomes like a long dream and it may never happen. Number 3, find a specific advisor. Find somebody like Farida, who knows the market, who can help you, who can tailor your situation to your needs. And that's what's very important.
Yes.
And someone who cares, because a lot of times I find that you may talk to advisors and they just want to play games with your money. So a lot of people become very disenchanted with
Correct.
financial planners because they're playing with your money and you're seeing your money go down the tube, so you lose faith in the whole
Correct.
situation.
Yeah.
So, and I also like what you shared about being in the market for a period of time is very important, and starting early. It's never too early to start. Any more tips you want to share? I mean, you've given us so many morsels that we can chew on, but I mean, because you're full of them. I hear them. I'm learning myself. So I know our viewers are learning. And anything else you want to share with us?
Find someone who is going to educate you, so you will be totally aware of what you are doing. So when someone like I come down and I sit down with you and I say, you say to me, well, I have this and I have that, and I say, well, what is it? Be able to tell me what it is. Because I see that so many times. They say, well, I have this and I have that, and I say, show me. And I look at it and I was like, really? I'm so surprised, because it's not what you thought it was. So you have to be educated on what you're doing. You are educating yourself on what you put in your mouth, correct? When you eat?
Well, this society is, I don't know, hopefully we're starting to learn.
Yeah.
Obesity
you have to
is
take
number one
an
killer.
educational approach to everything you do. And that's why we at our company take an educational approach. We first want to educate you, so you'll be totally aware. You'll know exactly what you have. You'll know when it is accessible to you, and you'll know how you're going to plan for what you want. So
Educate. I can't say that enough.
Yeah.
You know, because once you're educated, you know, you'll know how to plan, you know, and it's nothing better than understanding what's going on with your finances as opposed to someone else knowing what's going on with your finances, because it gives you a sense of power, you know, when you educate yourself. So again, I'm just going to repeat really quickly: spend wisely. Write down all your expenditures so you know where your money is going. Have a goal and a time frame. And find an advisor who really, really cares. And I would just want to say, Farida, it has indeed been a pleasure having you here. And thank you for all the wonderful information. And don't forget to check out my book, Words in Action. And I'll see you on next time with more great tips to make your life a better journey.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming.
Thank you.